Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I am here to talk about something that I have talked about in a video before. It is what I've been talking about on the channel for a while of what I'm recovering from, and it is breast augmentation. I am going to tell you the low down dirty story about the drama of these ladies. Okay. And I'm gonna give some lessons learned. I'm gonna explain what has happened, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. But I will say I am very, very to the point of practically being in tears. I was sitting in front of the doctor the last time, the week after the last procedure that I got done, and he asked if he could videotape and my testimonial, and I was like crying. Okay, so I am a very muscular woman, as you can see, and throughout the years, it's like something that always has made me feel like, and I wasn't this big when I got my first implants. But I felt like I needed something to make me feel a little bit more feminine. So as a woman with muscles and tattoos and literally not having anything. So let me actually really rewind. So I have Crohn's disease and colitis. I went from like 180 pounds, working out a little bit heavier, you know, when I was in high school and stuff like that, not in great shape, but decent. And I had boobs. And then when I got really sick with bulimia and my Crohn's, which were right around the same time, I lost a lot of weight. So I dropped down to like 118 pounds. And at that point, I lost everything. Typically with the way my body reacted to all of those things, I was very low body fat in my upper body and even in my legs also. But then when I did start putting on weight, I typically would put it on my lower body. Like I always had abs, but then I never really held any body fat on my upper body. When I got pregnant with my son, all the weight went to my lower body. I even had a 4-pack when I was pregnant, or like a 4 and a 2-pack. And then I had cellulite on my legs, so whatever. So the point is that I got my first surgery when I moved out from New York to California back in 2007. I messed up, and I'm gonna explain when I get to the end what I messed up with, and I had to get surgery within like 6 months because they got super hard. Fast forward, I was having some issues. Well, no, I wasn't having issues. Fast forward, I had 2 back to back, and then basically in like 2015 or 16, when I started bulking, like I got pregnant with Koa, and I put on weight a little bit with him, and then I got back into shape, and then I started really bulking, and I got another surgery years after he was born. I went from a AAA, that's how flat I was, to like 3 and change cc's. I'm not gonna go over like what I have now, but whatever. Then I went up to 5 and change because I started bulking, and my little babies looked really little. So that's why I got another surgery. And after that surgery, the ladies had issues again, but they didn't get super rock solid. One of them flipped, and then one of them was encapsulated and deformed, but I never really did anything about it. We're not going to get into why with that. That's very personal. Fast forward, in 2020, I moved out to Vegas, and I was consistently sitting at like 150. So I went from, when I had my first set, I was like 125 pounds. Then I got up to 135, and I like kind of maintained that for many years, even after giving birth to Koa and all that other stuff. And then, I got to 157. I never talked about doing surgery or anything like that. I maintained that, moved here, like I said, to Vegas, and I then continued to bulk. And in 2020, that was when I was divorced, and I decided I wanted to get them redone. I didn't like the way that they looked, wasn't happy with them. Obviously, literally just said, one was upside down, encapsulated, upside down, encapsulated. So I got them redone. I went to go see Doc Vegas, Christopher Corsani, and I beyond love them. But I had issues with scar tissue. on the implant that was, had all the scar tissue, that had the encapsulation. And it was deformed and all that other stuff. I developed some issues, and there was more scar tissue again. And I ended up having 3 surgeries with him, both 2 like back to back, almost like the first 2, within the first like 6 months. And then fast forward, I had another one last year. We waited a while. He has been working on this project of fat grafting for people like me that I don't have fat anywhere else in my body to do fat transfer. This is something that he kept saying, like, I think you're having all these issues with the scar tissue because of the fact that your tissue is so thin, you are so lean in your upper body, even when I am bulking, that it's like implant and skin, and that's it. So we did a little bit of mesh, and that didn't really work. So this last surgery that I had with him last year, this is the implant that gave me so much trouble, so I really babied this one. But then because I babied this one, I used this arm more, and this one got a little harder and encapsulated. So according to the doctor, like a grade 3 encapsulation, and grade 4 is like the worst. But here's where I messed up, and I'm still gonna go into a little bit more detail. I didn't want to bother Doc Vegas. I felt like there had been so much drama with me that I felt like I was a bother. So I decided to kind of cheat on him and to try someone else. I decided to get another opinion, not because I didn't believe in him, because I'm telling you right now, I would get compliments on my implants all the time. You are so muscular, yet your implants look so natural with the way that they fall, and I loved it. I didn't like, and no offense to anybody that has boobs like these, but I personally don't like the harder, higher roundness of them. I want them to drop. Like, I've done so many photo shoots where like you just see them and they just, and that's what I wanted, like the whole crescent-ish kind of look. So I loved that. Like, I'm a bodybuilder, but I don't look like I have fake boobs. I mean, it's pretty damn obvious that they are fake, but whatever. So I just felt like I was bothering him. So I did research, and I found another doctor that specialized in reconstruction, because maybe like that was the problem, or I don't know. But I ended up going to somebody else. Now, I'm not going to say the name of this doctor because I am not happy with what happened. I actually had a friend that referred me to this particular doctor, so I'm going to tell you about that experience. I went in to see the doctor, and he actually did tell me I don't even want to touch this implant. So this is the one that kept having all the scar tissue. However, because I babied it so much in this last surgery, this is like, I like this boob. But this is the one that then got harder and higher. So he's like, I'm only going to go in and work on this boob. So I basically paid for surgery to just have one implant worked on. And he said, and he kept saying with every single appointment over and over and over again, I want you to know they're never going to be exactly the same. Number one, because I'm not working on them, and because of just all the issues. And I go, I don't care. They don't need to be twins. I just want this one to drop, and I want it to match this one as closely as possible. But I don't expect them to be perfect. And I know what he was doing and why he was doing it, like making a very big deal because, you know, he's a surgeon and he wants people to be happy with his service. Prior to my surgery, he sent me an email, and he said that he's never done this with another client, but he sent me this long email explaining to me about, again, reassuring me, telling me, you know, they're not going to ever be the same. And it was a very professional email. But at one point in the email, he had said, I'm going to request that in the future, you eventually lower the size of this one. He said, as you age, and with the fact that the tissue is so thin, I do think that you should reduce the size of this one. I did not think of this until after the surgery, but which, you know what, let me tell you that after. So the goal also going in was, he said, I'm going to take this implant out, take out all the saline, and then I'm going to put it back in and fill it up. Every surgery I've ever had, they've always been a little bit different. Like, let's say it was 325 and 300, 525 and 510. I will say it went up to 750 and 725. So like they were never the exact same size, but this last one, they were the same size. So this new doctor had said, I'm gonna like balance them out. So he basically told me he was gonna go down maybe 40 cc's. So he was going to have this one be 40 cc's smaller than this one, which I've had before, and they look the most even when they are like that. I did honestly feel that not only with this one being higher because of what I did, I also felt like it did look bigger. Like having the same size implant in both, I think this one looked bigger. So whatever. I get out of surgery. And I will say, I want to publicly thank my boyfriend. I have never in my life ever had anybody that took care of me. So that's the problem, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. He brushed my hair. I wasn't allowed to walk around for 24 hours without holding on to him because they told that I would be lightheaded and I would possibly pass out. He cooked all my food for me, wouldn't let me get up off the couch. And keep in mind, I still had this arm. So like I could have aided in this arm, but like, so that is something that makes me very emotional, that I've never had that kind of support. Granted, I do think that I was also very stubborn before, but these last 3 surgeries, while I've been alone, the first 3 surgeries when I was married, whatever, we'll get into that after. But so basically then what happened was I'm sitting down on the couch the day after surgery, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here and I have my bra on, I don't have a bandeau, and I feel them and I'm like, oh my God. And I felt like crying. This one feels so much smaller than this one. So he's like, leave it alone. So I said I want to go look at it, and he's like, don't. I went in the bathroom and I did anyway. So like I pulled the bra down and this one looked so much smaller. And I was like on the verge of tears. I'm like, I'm 7 surgeries in, and how am I here again? So I felt really upset. So the next day, so it was the same day of surgery. So the next day, I go into the doctor and my boyfriend's sitting there, and I take the bra off and the gauze, and I'm waiting for the doctor to come into the room, and I look at myself and they look so different. And this one looked so much smaller, and I was so sad, and I said, I can't believe this. So he comes in the room and he explains to me that he took 90 cc's. And I had said to him, I go, I didn't realize you were going to go that much smaller. Like, I thought it was only going to be the 40 cc's that you were going to go down. And he's like, well, as I was filling it up, and then he showed me pictures of me laying down, I'm passed out, and I'm strapped to a table, and then they sat me up so that they could see how they fall. And in my mind, I'm like, you're a surgeon, and you know that even when they look the same on the day of surgery, there's inflammation, which is going to reduce, whether it's within 24 hours or within a week or whatever it is. So you should have made this one look a little bit bigger, because once all the inflammation goes down, it's going to shrink. I didn't say anything. I was so sad, and I had another appointment a couple days later after my boyfriend doesn't live here. He's moving, but he doesn't live here now. And I was really, really sad. Actually, at this point, I had gotten the phone call. So what ended up happening was, it's like 2 days after surgery, and I get a call from Doc Vegas's office, and they said, hey Jen, everything is finally approved and ready to go. We are ready to do the grafting. Because I am one of the first people to do it, and because of all the other issues, Doc was doing this for me. Like, this is a service that people are going to obviously have to pay for. So I was part of the experimental trial, which is perfect. Like, this whole thing was videotaped and everything, teaching. It's going to be sent to different surgeons on how and why it was used. The fact that I'm a bodybuilder and I have very low body fat, so a procedure like this is perfect for me because I have nowhere to pull fat, everything that I explained to you. So I called the office back and I said, I have to be honest with you. I don't know if Doc is going to still want to work with me. I hope he does, but I went to another surgeon and I had surgery, and I explained everything. So I said, I am crossing my fingers that he forgives me, and I hope that he still wants to work with me. I would really love to have this procedure done. And in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, maybe I can make up for what this last doctor did, and maybe we can put more grafting in this one to make it balance out. So I contact the office again, and it was like a couple day process. Like, he was busy, they didn't call me back, I called them back. Well, they did call me back, but they called me back a couple days later. Then I ended up texting him, and he said, call the office and set up an appointment so I can see how everything goes. And he made me feel so comfortable. He's like, why did you feel like you had to go to somebody else? And I said, I didn't want to bother you. It would be surgery number 4. And he goes, well, thanks, but no thanks. And he's like, I told you I would have done anything to help you. And he, like, even though I cheated on him, he didn't make me, he's like, I don't care that you did that. I get it, what you were thinking, but you didn't. Sorry, an alarm went off. So we set up the procedure for the next day. It was an incredible experience. I stood up from the table, and because he had just done it, you know, there was a little bit of, it just looked different. By the end of that night, I was obsessed. Like, obsessed. For the first time in 15, 16 years, 17 years, I don't know, I was beyond happy. Like, crying a mess. I went to see him the next day, and I was a mess. I said, I feel like I can finally breathe. Like, so excited for the fact that I don't have to, like, make a video and feel like I have to stand like this, or, you know, whatever, be with my man and feel uncomfortable, even though I don't feel like that. And he was here and saw the way that I looked prior to surgery, to the first surgery, and I just don't feel uncomfortable with him, but whatever, that's a whole nother story. So basically what ended up happening for video purposes and for, you know, the teaching purposes, we ended up doing the same thing in both of them, and I'm gonna go back after 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, I'm gonna go back, and I am going to, he's going to put a little bit more in this one, even though I don't know how, but they look a little bit more even now. And then a little, so like, it's just basically to not be able to see the bag because of how thin I am. And he broke up all the scar tissue over here because I was developing a little bit more, but it actually wasn't stuck to it. So it wasn't even close to as bad. So that's that. Now, the whole point of this story is that I want to explain why I effed up. And if you watched my last video where I had talked about, which I did with Kristen, where I talked about me going back to working out and all that other stuff. So here's the thing. This is where I messed up. I have a stupid high tolerance for pain. So all these years and all these surgeries, in my mind, I'm thinking if I'm not in pain, then I'm good, right? So after every surgery, I cooked myself food. After every surgery, the day after, I was driving my kids to school. Like, I've never taken the rest that the doctors tell you are not supposed to use your arms for the first 48 or so hours so that it can heal. But I'm not thinking it's a matter of healing, I'm thinking it's a matter of pain. So I myself up so many times. And I also never wanted to really ask for help. That's another, like, I've grown as a woman, and I know what I want now, and I have that, but that's where I messed up. In the beginning, I went back to working out way too soon. I was doing cardio the day after. I started training a week after. I went back to doing upper body way too soon. These last 3 surgeries, I did take 2 weeks off of upper body, 2 weeks off of legs, 2 weeks off of cardio, and I did wait my 5 so weeks to do upper body, but what I didn't do was I used my arms too much right from the get. So this one I recovered very well from the surgery because of not using my arms because of my boyfriend, but I also really babied them. I got support from my ex-mother-in-law where I asked her, can you please, I don't want to have another surgery, can you please just keep the kids so that I don't have to take them to school? And I took a few days off of work not emails, because I never take a break from my clients via email. But I didn't train clients, and even though I don't really like spot them or anything like that, I sometimes do. I'm just talking to them on the computer. I took my downtime. So the lesson that I would say to anybody is, I don't think that there's, and I haven't done any upper body. I will not do upper body until August 7th, which will be after this video comes out. But the lesson will be to really, like, it's not a matter of like listening to your body when it comes to things like this. It's a matter of listening to the doctors, trying to not have an ego. And I don't think it was ego related for me, but being smart with it. And then I do want to say that I am unbelievably happy with what my experience with Doc. Even though I've had 3 surgeries with him, 1 surgery with another doctor, and now this procedure, I cannot tell you how happy I feel. I cannot tell you how balanced I feel and feminine as a woman. I love what I have. I am very excited what they're gonna look like in 2 weeks from now after we do the second round and then we're completely done. I am so proud to be a testimonial for this new thing that he's trial thing that he's been working on for 4 years. And I am the success story and to why that procedure works and who that procedure is for. So, you know, if anybody is interested in something like that, any surgery or, you know, the graphing that I had explained, which can be done anywhere. So like he did me on here, and then he did hip dips on somebody else. I won't say what the other one was. We'll leave that one alone. So that's it. I just wanted to explain to you guys, I am now today filming, it is the 28th. I had the procedure done with Doc on the 6th, I believe it was. My surgery was on the 27th of August, so we're in 28th of September. So I'm exactly a month out from surgery. I am doing leg days. I just recently started holding dumbbells last week, but I'm still not doing any shoulder or back exercises until the 7th, and I might even wait. I'm changing my rotation, and I'm giving myself 3 rest days, 4 leg days, and I still haven't told you guys the whole full detail. So who knows? Maybe I decide I want to wait until the 14th. I don't know. But if I do, I'm just doing very light upper body. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm very happy, actually, that I've kind of been holding on to my shoulder size. I'm getting people that are complimenting my shoulders, and I was like, I haven't touched them in 3.5 weeks. So I'm not worried about that. And that's it. So, you know, the point of this was to kind of like tell you guys about what I did, tell you guys about the lesson that I learned, and that's it. I am very happy. I talk of everything that I do on this channel is all about becoming the best version of yourself, you know, physically, emotionally, mentally, and all that. So, you know, and then kind of like just being part of my life and part of my journey. Today, I'm also going to be filming and editing another video with my eyebrows that I just got done. You probably already watched the skating and eyebrow video, but I'm filming a second part to that today. Going to visit a friend, getting my nails done. You know, it's Saturday. Getting myself ready for next week. I'm going to visit my boyfriend, which I'll probably be back by then. So that's it. But I don't know if there's any lesson to be pulled from this, but I don't know if there really is any lesson. I'm just keeping you guys in the loop with me. But if you are looking to get to know me personally a little bit better with why I do things the way that I do and who I am, please go to the description and check out my website, my Jen Aguirre website, read the About Me page, and then if you're interested in coaching, since that's what I do not coach bodybuilders, even though I clearly am one, but you can read the details, fill out the contact form, and then I would love to discuss the details of my program and how I can help you become more confident, be a better version of yourself. Listen, I don't care how good you think that you are, we could all be better. I don't care how good of a coach I think I am, I can still learn. I don't care how good of a bodybuilder I am, I can still be better. How good of a mom I am, I can still be better. A partner I am, I can still be better. So we're constantly growing and evolving, and I would love to be part of that process with you. helping you, because maybe you really don't have any direction, or maybe you're lacking faith in your ability to get to a goal. And at the end of the day, we all need, depending on what it is, we all need somebody that has more experience. So with me, it's like, yeah, I have a coach, and with you, maybe you have no idea where to even begin, and that's where I come in. So that's it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Leave your comments below, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff.